Oftentimes in the prophets, God speaks of using a measuring line, a measuring stick, a symbol of his judgment, a symbol of him examining his people. And so often, don't we fall short? I've come to see the prison in many ways, not just as the prophet's voice to the church, but really as a plumb line of the local church. A plumb line, meaning it really measures us against the scriptures. It asks the question, what are we doing for the fatherless? It asks the question, what are we doing with the fatherless that are right down the street from our own door? What are we doing with the stranger in the gate? Our nation today faces huge issues of immigration. It's politicized, and the people of God probably don't know what to say or what to do. But you know, God calls us to care for the alien. He calls us to step in to the life of that family that's come from someplace else in the world as a stranger into our own gates and to make a difference. God tells us to remember the poor. I think back in the Old Testament of one of the greatest men, perhaps the greatest, Job himself. And God said of Job, there was no man like him on all the earth who not only feared God, but hated evil. And God allows Job to be described as a man in Job chapter 29, in Job chapter 23, a man who delivers the poor. He's eyes to the lame, he's eyes to the blind. Young men would see him and hide, and old men would cover their mouths. He was a blessing to the man who was ready to die. God gave us a picture of Job as a man who was making a difference in his community. And I really believe the day when Job suffered, I really believe his community did as well. And so the plumb line of the prison of the local church, how are you measuring up with the heart cry of the prison in your missions program, in your prayer meeting? How does your preaching and your altar reflect the urgency that's coming from the voices often hidden behind steel and bars of iron? It is a plumb line. It's the voice of the prophet for the 21st century.